Computer science is more than just programming, although programming is a central process to computer science. In an educational context, programming provides exciting opportunities and encourages both logical thinking, creativity, precision, and problem solving. It helps foster and engender thinking skills and, most importantly, the resilience that pupils will need across the modern school curriculum. But also, programming provides a tangible, concrete form to the idea of computational thinking and, in particular, abstraction. No, the new computing curriculum isn't just about programming. Teachers are expected to interpret the breadth and the depth of the whole subject of computing, ensuring that it meets the needs of their students when they progress to the next phase of education or into the world of employment and work. Therefore, it's absolutely key that we provide students with a balanced curriculum containing computer science, IT and digital literacy through key stages 1 through to 3, so that pupils are provided with the foundations for either a computer science, an IT or a digital media qualification at Key Stage 4. The inclusion of more computer science into the National Curriculum 2014 is really important, because if we expect our students to become independent learners, evaluators and potentially designers of new technology, then it's absolutely essential they understand the concepts and principles these technologies are built on. There's a really fantastic and inspirational talk by Professor Simon Peyton-Jones, who is the chair of the Computing at Schools group, available from TED. I really like Miles Berry, lecturer at Roehampton University and Computing at School board member's explanation of this. He describes computer science as the foundations of computing, information technology as the application, and digital literacy as the implications. And I think this really fits well in the classroom. If you're unsure about any of the terminology in the 2014 National Curriculum, then the first thing I would do is read the Computing at School primary and secondary guidance documents. It is important that you use the correct terminology with your pupils and students. The word algorithm is no more difficult to understand for pupils than the term onomatopoeia, yet we teach that to children in literacy lessons in Key Stages 1 and 2. In fact, I have a funny story about the word algorithms. In one of my lessons entitled Computing and Dance, we were trying to teach the children about abstraction and generalization and algorithmic thinking. And one of my pupils turned to me and said, "Mr. Dorling, would you please get with the algorithm?" Because I can't dance and was about 3 steps behind the pupils. Nervous about teaching the national curriculum? I definitely recommend you go to your local Computing at School hub meetings. They take place on a termly basis, and teachers come together, they share experiences, share ideas, share resources, all with a common aim of trying to deliver an outstanding computing curriculum for our pupils. However, let's put this into context. Maths and science have had hundreds of years to develop effective pedagogies and have been around as subjects for thousands of years. In comparison, computing is 60, 70 years old and hasn't been taught in schools for about the last 20 years. So let's face it, we have some catching up to do. However, I think this is a really exciting time for us as teachers. This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to be able to explore new pedagogies and actually define a subject moving forwards. This means that we will need to take risks, but without risks, our subject can't develop. And computer scientists, we get used to failing often and failing well. But failure is only really when you give up. So I think we would all agree that what makes great teachers is being reflective. So we need to start sharing our experiences with the wider community. So why not come along to your local Computing at School hub meeting? Remember, you don't have to change everything in your first year. I'd advise that you read the primary and secondary guidance documents published by Computing at School And also look at the teaching agency document entitled Subject Knowledge Requirements for Entry into Computer Science Teacher Training to audit your subject knowledge and then identify your areas for development. I would also evaluate your understanding and your colleagues' understanding of what computational thinking is, together with a skills audit of your programming abilities, and then build this into your personal, departmental and school development plans to ensure that it is made a priority in your school. I would recommend that you look at the courses available on the Computing at Schools community site. It will feature a list of the hub meetings running, also the events and training courses being provided by your local CAS master teacher and your local university. All of these courses should be mapped to the teaching agency document and back to the national curriculum to provide you with guidance of is it relevant or not.